tuning into the Encounter Culture.
Anyway, stop being me, break counterculture in your face. Try to pretend that you want it to end. I'd rather be drinking with my friends. When we go out, you'll never see us again.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the most inconsistent show about the inconsistent thing that is toy collecting, right? So I do appreciate you dropping by. A nice, easy stream tonight. Of course, if you're out there watching, you do want to join in on the conversation. You have some things you want to talk about from the last week or so, just send me a DM on Instagram. We'll get you on here. It's as simple as that. But we'll talk about some reveals over the last couple of days, a little bit of toy news, keep it nice and light, enjoy the topic, right? So the last couple of days, today especially, we did see the live pre-order for the Maximum Hulk, right? So we had a nice, robust conversation about that on Just Justin Collects Collecting Justified last week, or this past Saturday, I should say. So depending on your thoughts of that figure, there are some things to like about it. There's a lot to probably not like about it, right? So price point, certainly something a little bit contentious, and the reuse most likely, right? I won't go too deep into that. Like I said, we just had a nice conversation about that the other day, so definitely go over, check out Just Justin Collects Collecting Justified, which is live every Saturday night at about 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But Hulk went live today for the pre-orders, Maximum Hulk. Now this thing, it has some good things about it, right? You like that you have the Gamma Clap, Thunderclap. You like the effects, right? There's some cool stuff there. Price is a little weird. The reuse a little weird. But speaking of the price, I mean, that was kind of all over the place today. There were a couple of sites that had it listed, right? It ranged everywhere from $49.99 over at Best Buy to $74.99 on Entertainment Earth, to the $59.99, which we were expecting on Pulse and Amazon. Big Bad Toy Store was in there somewhere in the $60 range. I think $64.99 maybe. Same with GameStop, right? So we expected maybe some fluctuation with the price based on what's going on with tariffs and imports from China. So there was some idea that the price might fluctuate, might go up, might hit anywhere up to like $90, right? I was fairly confident that Hasbro would stick to the $59.99. Now, of course, with smaller entities such as Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth, they're going to have their own ways to have to deal with things, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, to see it go from that wide of a range, $49.99 all the way up to $74.99, it's pretty interesting. So I'd be curious for those of you who pre-ordered it maybe on Entertainment Earth, if you went back and then pre-ordered it somewhere else like Best Buy. So I did send that out to a couple of people in case they were interested, right? Maybe you don't like it at $59.99, but you're a little bit more inclined at $49.99. It seems like that one sold out pretty fast. I think that fairly reasonable compared to the $60 price point. I don't know if it justifies it, but it is certainly much better. So just one thing that did pop up for pre-orders today, so I certainly wanted to cover that. But before we get deep into everything, let's say hello to the chat. So David, Evan, and Smith are in the chat. I'll see you on Saturday. And like I said, we had a nice conversation this past Saturday. This upcoming Saturday, we'll get into all the leaks, I should say. So I won't be covering those today on this stream, but we'll have a nice long conversation on Saturday about those leaks, go over it, give our thoughts. So definitely tune into that again over on Just Justin Collects at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's see. Oh, Dark Conan, happy enough with the 2-pack Hulk from a couple years ago. Yeah, so I think that's kind of the big discussion, right? There's not a significant amount of improvement on this Hulk to really warrant needing to go back and spend a little extra and whatever. Personally, I'm happy with the diamonds, like Marvel Selects Mortal Hulk. I think that looks beautiful on the display. I have no need to replace it. So yeah, I think I'm curious to see how many people are really going to be in for that. David, they need to pay you $50. Hey, I'll take that action. I'll take $50 to take the figure. Why not? All right, so that was the big thing for today that went up. I think Best Buy is probably the only place that's sold out so far, at least the last time I checked. I imagine that that will stick for at least a little bit. I really don't see that one selling out anytime soon. But I do want to get into just a little bit of housekeeping. Of course, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Feel free to hit the join button while you're at it. I certainly do appreciate it. And if you do decide to go and hit that join button, of course, you can hang out with some of the channel members. So shout out to Just Justin Collects, Christopher Allen, Northern Nomad, and the newest channel member, John Morrissey, who, as you guys may know, is my best friend, not Justin's best friend. Those two do not get along. The things that John says about Justin, believe me, Justin tries to portray it like they say it about me, but we all know the truth here, right? So you know how it goes. Yeah, I agree. They're definitely testing the waters on what they can do with these maximum figures, like how they can push it, what they can get away with, I guess. And then what did you say here? I got to be honest, though. I think it's every collector's mind. I'm worried for the survival of Tor. Yeah, yeah. Like it doesn't bode well for retailers like Big Bad Toy Store when they're already raising the prices based on how they think things are going to fluctuate, right? And they're going to be hit the hardest. You know, an entity like Amazon or even Hasbro can sustain and kind of hold back on raising those retail prices. And when I say Hasbro, I mean like Hasbro Pulse as the retail arm of Hasbro. So they definitely have a little bit more leeway in that. It's the companies like Big Bad that are going to really suffer, and Entertainment Earth. I mean, as you can see, they're starting it at $75. So yeah, Dark Conan, I agree. And I'm going to go over that too in a little bit during the news portion, but at least I appreciate the transparency, right? So they could just not say anything and go forth and slowly increase or just drop those prices on you, and they were at least upfront about it. So yeah, again, I do appreciate that transparency. Going back a little bit to last week, right? So talked about the Maximum Hulk that went live for pre-order. A little bit more Marvel Legends news. So they did tease the Fantastic Four figures last week, towards the end of last week. So of course, we're just recapping what's happened in the last 7 days or so. Movie comes out in July. We didn't get a pre-order date for these figures, but I go back and forth on where I am with collecting MCU figures. I've largely gotten away from that, even though that's kind of really where I started to dive in deep. But time has gone on. There's not a whole lot that's very exciting coming out of the MCU, so I've really stepped back from that. And I don't know. Depending on how these look, I might be back into it. So I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing how these figures actually turn out. The one thing though is, I mean, you can see the thing is very plain looking, and maybe this is just an earlier prototype version, so we haven't seen like the full version with the paint apps and everything. But I'd be curious to see how these look because if it's done very well, this could be, I think, a line that gets people a little bit more excited to get back into MCU collecting. All right, David, what do you got? What do you got for me? All right. Email is handled well. They still don't know how the tariff situation. Yeah, exactly. Like, obviously, it's been fluctuating heavily, and I don't think anybody has any idea what the end game is, right? Or where it goes from here. You know, tomorrow it could be 200%, or it could be back down to normal levels, right? So time will tell on that. But yeah, I mean, the toy industry is really going to be hit hard. If you see, I mean, that's like one of the major exports from China to the US. So that is certainly something that's going to get hit. And organizations like the Toy Association, like they have really got a global push going on right now to um, kind of get countries on the idea of a 0% tariff free trade uh, agreement for the toy industry. Now, does that happen? I doubt it. I don't know. But again, time will tell. What do you say? 145. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's insane. Joseph, what's up? What up, man? Have you been? Have a great day today. Hey, thank you. You do the same. Have a great day. Thank you. All right. So moving on from Marvel Legends, though, for a little bit. I'm just gonna go over, you know, what I've seen over the last few days that have been announced and kind of what I'm looking forward to. So we did talk about the Hulk, but Beast Kingdom, right? They had these announcements here. So look, there's a lot of cool stuff for DC fans here. Pretty decent sized figures, but I mean, I think the retail on these was somewhere around $50. The Superman looks awesome, so I am definitely in for that. I don't think there's any surprise there, but it's just a lot of really nice detail in there. And again, I think on Big Bad it was listed for pre-order around 48 or 49, so it's got to be somewhere in the 45 to 50 range for that. So I'm definitely digging that. Batman looks pretty good too. Yeah, you got some nice detail in there. So this looks like a cool line. I own one Beast Kingdom figure. It's actually Dark Side, so that's the only dive in I've done for so 20 centimeters. I think that's about 12 inches, right? So and based on that picture alone, yeah, I would say they're in the 12-inch range, which is where I actually thought they were going to be 6-inch figures from the listing I saw. So surprised to see that. It would have been awesome to see like a 6-inch line, something like that, because these look pretty good and something that would be fairly competitive with like Mafex, right? So 12-inch Superman, I'm good. I'm definitely in on that, but everything else I think I would be out on at that scale. Yeah, why not? Darkonin saying they look around 9 or 10. We just got to do the math, right? You know, what's 20 centimeters in inches? So that's it. I do wish Marvel and DC offering shared. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people would agree with that. We'll see when Mattel takes over the DC license if they go into that same scale. You know, I think they will kind of just pick up where they left off previously. So it'll be good to have those in the same scale. There's a lot of possibility for your display, and I do think that's kind of where, personally, I don't particularly care for the McFarlane figures because of the scale in a lot of ways, right? So they kind of stand out. But again, down the road, we'll see how this plays out. We'll see how it goes. That's right, bendy wire capes, and yeah. But that was good, right? What else came out this week? Some Walking Dead stuff. I did think this TMNT Gangster Turtle set. Look, I love how deep they go into TMNT. This is a license that Neca will milk for many years. I'm out. It's not for me, but I like it. It's fun. You know, something there to enjoy. some more DC Direct stuff. So David, you probably see some stuff in there. Maybe we'll talk about that stuff on Saturday. It's not really a line that I collect, but I can certainly appreciate. One thing I did see, I was happy that they announced this finally. So Pamela Voorhees. Look, I am a big fan of NECA stuff in my display. Been collecting NECA for many years, so I am absolutely in on Pamela Voorhees here. So there was a figure many years ago, but it's been some time, so it will be nice to get her into the horror display, which is right there behind me. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Let's see what. All right, Joseph said the only McFarlane figures I collect are the Spawn figure. Yeah, so and look, Spawn on its own, right? I can appreciate that in 7-inch scale. It's just the DC stuff for me because like I really would like a display where everything kind of is in the same height area, right? So with the DC stuff, the Marvel stuff, kind of next to each other. Right now, I mean, they're split, they're on separate sides of the room, so it doesn't really matter at this point. And in reality, like, what is my DC collection other than a shit ton of Superman figures? So who knows, right? What are you guys most anticipated stuff coming up? Yeah, that's a good. I mean, there's so much. There's just toy news all the time, right? It's like a constant flow of information, and really just kind of trying to keep up with that, right? So, um, there's some good legend stuff coming up. I mean, that's primarily where a lot of my collecting goes, but like some NECA stuff and getting the Holothon stuff over the last week or so has been pretty good. So, I mean, that's really where I am right now. And then, I mean, we'll see some other things on this page here, but yeah, this Pamela Voorhees, I'm definitely excited about that. Yo, Alexi, can't hang out because I'm in class, but wanted to drop a like and catch you on the Hey, appreciate you dropping in. And it's okay. There's always Saturday. It's just a no-brainer that any figure collector would want their stuff to be the same scale, especially superheroes. It's all about, what you can do with your display, your imagination, kind of having all that together, I really think is a big thing. And for instance, like, all right, McFarlane put out that Superman, the Centennial Park Superman, the gold statue one, right? If that had been in 1/12 scale or 6-inch, that would have been very cool for me because, like, there's that when Superman came over to Marvel for a couple, I think, an issue, right? So he became a Herald of Galactus, right? The Kryptonian. He's just a gold version of Superman. It would have been fantastic if I could display that Superman with my Heralds of Galactus, right? It's just I mean, the only thing I'm gonna do is just take a Superman and paint it gold and call it a day. But just to have that would have been a pretty nice touch, right? So just saying. SH Figure Arts. I personally don't when it comes to like import lines, I do collect some Mafex and some Mezco, but for the Mafex stuff, like I only collect Superman and Wolverine, and then for the Mezco, actually the same thing, just Superman and Wolverine. So if when I dabble into premium lines, it's only going to be for those characters that I really love or have a deep appreciation for. So very small compared to like domestic lines, right? But like for me, sometimes they look a little small. I don't know. People seem to love them, so I can certainly appreciate it. But it's just not really a line or a company I've really dived into. Yeah, so I'm waiting on the Superman. I still haven't picked it up yet, but it looks awesome. I've seen some pictures of the Shazam too, and they both look really good, but that Kingdom Come Superman looks so good. And all right, so McFarlane has one coming out, right? It's like trickling out now. It's gonna like look bad in comparison, obviously, and you're comparing apples to oranges, right? It's something that's meant to be a more premium figure versus something that's meant to be a more commercially ready item. So, uh, but Gong Studios like really killed it with that Kingdom Come Superman. You have it, so you like it's really good, right? Like in hand, you have both of them, or just the Superman? Uh, oh, here's another one that I thought was pretty cool though. While I get an answer on that question, so these RoboCop figures, right? So this is from JFS Toys. I'm not familiar with this company, and maybe they're not super big, but so 7-inch scale RoboCop figures. What I like about this, so NECA has been putting out RoboCop figures for years, right? And now we get a little bit more uh, that if you wanted to build up your RoboCop display, right now you can, and that's cool. I like this. So I think the articulation is going to be looks like a little bit close to a NECA figure or even like an older McFarlane figure. So not a ton of articulation, probably going to be fairly limited, but highly detailed and display well, right? So not for everybody, and I definitely appreciate that. That's right, bad guys from RoboCop. Where was this? So this is well, this article is on Toy Arc, but the company is JFS Toys. Um, so yeah, like I said, it's not a company I'm super familiar with, but I am absolutely looking forward to this. So we take some closer looks here. You can see like the articulation schemes are a little bit limited on these, but they do look pretty cool. It can seem to come with a lot of accessories. So it almost looks like a cheaper version of Ultimates in a way, kind of some decent detail. They'll be the same scale, don't come with a ton of stuff, but sort of maybe a cheaper version of Ultimates, I would think. I wouldn't want to see these be more expensive than $35. So we'll see. Yeah, no, they did a solid job. I'm gonna have to look into this company, see what else they've done. And if they're new, then that's cool too. Somebody else on the field to throw out some things. So I like that. That's something to look forward to. For me, like I love building out movie related displays, and that's definitely something that is gonna look cool. Speaking of movie related figures, so we did get Toby from Spider-Man 3. So I won't spend a lot of time on that because that was a little bit over a week ago, but I think 29.99 is what we came in on that. Something I brought up over the weekend on Collecting Justified was a lot of people came out with the complaints about the 29.99, and I totally get that, and I'm not a fan of it either, but I do find that with a lot of Spider-Man figures, especially on initial release, Hasbro will increase the price. So PS4, PS5 Spider-Man figures both came in at a higher mark than your average Legends figure. Amazing Fantasy the same. So I'm not venturing to guess that 29.99 is your standard price going forward, right? That's going to be like your Spider-Man tax. Not defending it, not encouraging it, but just some food for thought. So we'll probably never see Duchess Squad from Predator. So hey, I don't know if this JFS Toys company, if this does well, then maybe that's what they do. They just do like squads and goons and gangs, whatever, from all kinds of different movies, right? I'd be all for that. Just sort of like almost your army build in a way from some, you know, some random company. So I'll take that. Yeah, and then I think from there we get a little bit past that week time frame, but some pretty decent stuff from this past week, at least that was announced. So I think there's a lot to like there. A little bit of comic stuff, a little movie stuff, a little bit of everything. While we take a look at that, but now let's talk some toy news. All right, shall we?
Let's hit that news, though.
Hit us with
everybody.
that sweet, sweet news.
All right, so we talked a little bit earlier about Big Bad Toy Store uh, being very transparent with what's going on and how they're going to move forward with prices. And I do appreciate that, right? It's something that's probably bothering, or at least on the minds of a lot of collectors right now. Granted, look, there's a lot of stuff going on everywhere. Toys are probably the least of anybody's worry, right? But as collectors, right, it's just some common ground we have, something to talk about. So I did like that they came out and said, hey, this is what's going on, this is what we're going to do. They're not incorporating that necessarily into their prices at the moment, but at least warning that depending on how things shape out, especially at the time of whatever your order is, that the price may be different than what you're seeing right now. So, it's not something that we all love to hear, but it's definitely something that I can appreciate, and I think a lot of people can appreciate just them being forthright with that and putting that information out there. So where does this go? I don't know. I don't think any of us know at this point, but it is, something that is going to be a little bit bothersome, and maybe the prices don't increase. Maybe we all come out of this a week from now and nothing else happened. So do you love that news clip? Thank you. Yes. It's all about the news clip, maybe get some like a sports clip or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll, wear a suit or something next time. We'll turn this into something really official. Who knows? All right. Joseph said, yeah, I like what Big Bad Toy Store did to let us know about the tariffs. I think at this point, we can all appreciate just some transparency, right? So like, just put the information out there. If it's something that comes to fruition, then we knew ahead of time. We're not shocked when the price of your figure jumps from $25 to $50, right? Hopefully not, but at least we have some idea of the possibility of that. So, like I said, it's one of the, we have no idea. Everything, we're just all speculating right now. We know what we know, and 145% or wherever we were today is kind of what we're assuming over the next few weeks, but it's going to take time for that to trickle down, right? So I think I was reading yesterday, once transport ship leaves China for the United States, it's about a 2-week process. So there's going to be delays in when the tariffs would actually kick into things, and if we actually get to that point. So whether or not a week from now everything is dropped and back to normal, I think there will still be some trickle down effect from delays or other issues with those figures. And toy companies are going to surely increase their prices a little bit to cover their own margins. So, I mean, I would expect at least a couple of dollars for a lot of companies. But, maybe it doesn't happen, and that'll be even better news. In slightly better news, nice segue there, some toys have started to hit Ross. Seems like some Legends have started to come out. So this was new. I saw X-Men 97 today. So I'd seen some of the Blackheart wave and some of the Zabu wave, but seeing X-Men 97 stuff. All right, so that's interesting. So we're at $5.99 on those. So if you're looking for that stuff, it's apparently out there. Wolf's Bane. I think what else did I see? Yeah, Blackheart, the Blackheart wave. So Brother Voodoo has been spotted. A lot of the Zabu wave. So I'm actually surprised. I was really under the impression that Hasbro had shrunk production based on the last couple of years and how so many things hit clearance and went to Ross. And, I really thought that we wouldn't see as much hit, but it seems in rapid succession, having these three waves start to show up. And it's not everything, right? So I get it. Like the Iron Man, probably not a popular character. I kind of expect that to maybe pop up. Not everybody is looking for every Iron Man variant that there is. Kazar, maybe a little bit surprised that showed up because I felt like for so long there was some demand in the community for an updated version, but apparently not as much as they put out. Brother Voodoo, I can see. I mean, that was the third version. Probably didn't need an update for Brother Voodoo, even though it is a nice update. And then Wolfsbane. I guess Wolfsbane, I was a little bit surprised too, but I mean, there were some complaints about that figure, so I understand. And then I'm curious to see what of X-Men 97 continues to pop up. This Magneto, I get, but I'd be happy to see some other things too, so we'll see. Are banks and Wall Street going to get bailed out again? The rest of us just blowing in the wind. Sorry, yeah, you might be onto something. I don't know, but yeah. So if you guys are out there looking for stuff, I guess now is a good time to start hitting up your Ross. At least that way you can pick up some $6 figures to balance out the double price figures that you're going to be paying for in the next few weeks, right? So it's all about balance, folks, right? All about balance. But that's it. I mean, that was kind of the recap for the week. That was what was going on, what I saw, what caught my attention. Of course, there were some leaks for Marvel Legends that came out yesterday. I'm not talking about those today, but we are going to get into those on Saturday night. So if you are interested in hearing that discussion, you definitely want to go over to Just Justin Collects, Collecting Justified, Saturday nights at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be Justin, it'll be David, Evan, and Smith, myself, Alexi's there, Andrew's there. It's a whole thing. So definitely a good time. Definitely worth checking out. Other than that, that's all I have to say. So I will turn it over to my good friends, Bill and Ted.
Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes!